Hey, want a microdose with me? No, I don't mean mushrooms, but I am talking about something that can produce a sense of euphoric calm in an intentional, magical way. I'm talking about microdosing story. Why does this bring the magic? Because there's the story you're in at large, and there is the story of the countless transitional moments through any given day which hold incredible creative potential. Like sitting down to eat is a transitional moment. Getting into the car or onto the subway to your destination is a transitional moment. Walking into a meeting is a transitional moment. Now, none of these sound magical in the least, I know. They are at their core full of everyday redundancy. But the thing is, these moments are ripe breeding grounds for default thought and behavior to run the show, which can trend to the negative. And that's where your inner life starts to go unintentionally sour. Every second, your brain's flooded with more information than you could ever consciously process. Most of it gets filtered out before it ever reaches your awareness. Your brain decides what's relevant based on what you've told it matters, which becomes the filter you've chosen on purpose or not. But here's what happens in your brain when you take a moment to pause and name an intention. You're recalibrating that filter and retraining what your brain treats as signal and instructions instead of just noise. Cognitive scientists call this biased competition. You know, it's the classic, I'm going to buy a white car, and suddenly I see white cars everywhere type of deal. So let's take some of these micro moments and play with which directions they can go. Let's take first sitting down to eat. The default messaging might be, I'm probably going to overeat like I usually do, and I bet this food is going to go straight to my thighs. But what happens in you if when sitting down to eat, you say this instead? I intend for every cell in my body to love this food and use it well. Wow, literally, that feels so different. Now, the beauty about intentions is that you are not declaring that something must be a certain way, therefore setting yourself up for disappointment. Like, my body better use this food well or else, right? You're simply pointing your brain in a preferred direction and then opening up to possibility. Okay, so how about when you're getting into the car or onto the subway to your destination? The default mode might be, this train better not be late. I'm already cutting it close. I'll probably miss it anyway. Or, traffic is always awful at this time of day. I just hate rush hour. All valid, of course, as these things have likely been true for you many times. But what happens in you if you say this in its place? I intend to travel safely to my destination, carried there by the next train whenever it comes. Or, I intend for the inevitable traffic on my route to move along to the best of its ability, and for fun, for the journey to show me something amusing. I'm personally loving this. Finally, our third example, heading into a meeting. Default mode could be, this meeting went badly last time. It's going to be so unproductive. How about instead, I intend for this conversation to create more connection between us. Period. I mean, if we get to choose, and we really do, why the hell not practice choosing this way? Even if it's foreign, even if it feels ridiculous, even if our other voices scoff. We can say, I intend that when my skeptic is loud, I can tell it a joke and invite it to chuckle. I usually focus on more long-term complex story work, so I'm really excited to play with this practice over the coming weeks and bring the results back to you. Thank you so much for being here and for sharing these pieces as you do with those who pop into your heart as you listen. See you next time.